These are this is from the Bleacher Report. Browns' biggest weaknesses ahead of training camp. Number one, they say red zone defense. Cleveland allowed opponents to convert 71.4% of their red zone trips into touchdowns, highest rate in the league by a significant margin. Browns must figure out what went wrong there last season. Number two, quarterback. While Watson does have an 8-4 record with the Browns, he's thrown for only 2,217 yards, 14 touchdowns, 9 interceptions, 81.7 quarterback ranking. None of those matters number. The 8-4 record's what's important. And number three, tight end depth. This is a position the Browns should have strengthened earlier in the offseason, as the free agent market is down to role players like Jeff Swaim, Tyler Croft. Don't be surprised if Cleveland looks to bolster position with more players when they become available during the roster cuts. We've already talked about the quarterback thing, and you know what? You can say quarterback wins losses isn't a stat. That's fine, but it's the most important thing. Do you win with the quarterback? That's all. That's the reason they play. So red zone defense, tight end depth.
Yeah, I mean that was obviously the big thing about mini camp in the offseason with the Browns is tightening up that red zone defense. Obviously, we've talked all season about just how good that red zone defense was, but then you look that defense, excuse me, but then you look at that red zone number, 71.4% of times opponents go in the red zone, they score touchdowns. That's way too many, and obviously it just comes down to football in so many ways comes down to, can you make plays in the red zone on both sides of the football? Can you score when you're inside the 20? Can you get touchdowns instead of field goals? And if you're the defense, can you hold the other team and force them to settle for field goals or possibly even take the football away and hold them to nothing? And that just happened so many times to the Browns. So that's got to be a point of emphasis, especially when you're going up against much better quarterback play kind of across the schedule in 2024. Number three, with tight end depth. I think that to me, that was still one of the biggest things that came out of the draft. It was kind of surprising that they didn't leave that draft with a tight end, that they made 5 picks and none of them were tight ends. It kind of says maybe that they want to go with more receivers and maybe only two or three tight ends. I think Jordan Akins still is a solid veteran behind David Njoku. But as we've seen with Kevin Stefanski, if he's going to put a third tight end down and they're in goal line situations, that's probably going to be a guard. That's probably going to be a tackle. I mean, remember, you have one of Jedrick Wills, Jack Conklin, and DeJuan Jones won't start next season. So, I mean, who's to say one of them won't be that third tight end in blocking situations or a fullback or even go out there potentially in a trick play and catch a pass. So we've seen, in those scenarios that maybe Kevin Stefanski gets creative and puts somebody else at that third tight end spot for blocking, but kind of just says that they want to go more wide open with this offense in 2024.